Hi again, YouTubers. So this is an overview review and a little bit of a giveaway on bronzers. And it's funny, I tend to grab for the same bronzers all the time, so I guess I never really truly realized how many bronzers I had. I've tried a lot of different ones and I like a lot of different ones, but it's funny that I go to the same few bronzers on a consistent basis. So I'm gonna get started with the first true bronzer I think I ever used, which it's not actually a bronzer, it's just a warmth. I've used both of these. It's Bare Minerals Face Color in the color Warmth. And I actually have it on today. And I tend to just use just a very slight bit as almost a little bit of a contour when I don't want to seem as if I have an extreme contour to my face. And I really like this. There is no shimmer to it. You have to be careful. It can have a little bit of an orange undertone to it, so you have to be very careful with it and use an extremely, extremely light hand. They do also have a product, let's see if I still have one. They used to have one called Tan, I think it was called. Yeah, here it is, Faux Tan. And I have a very small sample of that. Now that one is truly more of a bronzer. Sorry, I have an itch, gosh. More of a bronzer than the Warmth one is, but I like Warmth just to add a little bit of color to my face and to give me that little bit of contour without looking like a contour. Now Faux Tan is definitely a darker product. This is just a sample of one. That's what it looks like. This one does have a slight shimmer to it, which is part of the reason I don't tend to grab for it very often, whereas Warmth, oops, does not have any shimmer to it. Personally, just my undertones, Warmth works better for me. That's all there is to it. I am going to mention fairly quickly another one that I have owned in the past and I will not repurchase is the NARS Laguna and the NARS Casino. Laguna is the best for my skin tone. I also bought Casino in like a duo one once just to see how it worked out. Here's my problem with it. I think they're great colors, but I don't like the shimmer that they have. They have a very, very faint shimmer to it, which is not noticeable when you put it on or anything like that, but I tend to find with my combination oily skin that throughout the day when I wear it, it wears into more of an oily look because of that slight shimmer to it. And that kind of holds true across the board with all of my bronzers, and you'll see that as I go along. The ones I tend to gravitate towards and use the most are the ones that have no shimmer to them. So the next one that, I'm trying to think, I think probably the next one that you guys have heard me talk about time and time again that I love, I've heard that it's discontinued, I still find it at my counter, I have a backup at all times, is the Chanel Bronze Universal Day Chanel Sun Illuminator. This is what it looks like. The new thing is actually gold. I don't like the gold one, so I keep putting my white one from my first one back on. This one's almost done. This is a very light, hard to explain product. It is not a cream, it is not a gel, but it is definitely, if you can see it on that finger, it's very light. This is not going to work with every skin tone, but here's the keys that I've learned after using this is what they consider. It is good as a bronzer, as for a light pick-me-up. It's very similar actually to Warmth in the concept of how you use it. You don't use it as an all-over bronzer or else you're gonna look funny. Sorry, I have the sniffles today. I have some allergies, but you're not going to use this as an all-over bronzer. You're only going to use it in specific areas, and the other key to this with using it in specific areas, it is also used as a bronzer base. So this is interesting. I found this out afterwards. It's kind of like a primer for your bronzer. It does have a slight tint to it, but if you want a bronzer specifically to sit in the hollows of your cheek for a contour, then this you would put on first and then run with a fluffy brush a bronzer over bigger areas of your face. Sorry, I cannot stop sniffling today. I love this product. I falter back and forth of how often I use it, but I always have one. I love it. I think it is a phenomenal product. You can tell, I think this is overall this is either my second or my third, but you can tell I use this all the time. I love it. I absolutely love it. And honestly, the easiest brushes to do, just to give you an idea, most bronzers, I'm going to show you a couple different things. Sorry, I can't stop sniffling. If I'm using something like the Bare Minerals, this is just a Kabuki from Coastal Scents that I'm in love with right now because it's so soft. I use this today and I just use a little bit on the edge and I use it as my contour and then buff it out because I need that fluffy brush. If I'm using a powder bronzer, I tend to use one of two brushes. Either a flat, it's like the MAC 134, this is my Sigma one, it's an F20, or a tapered one like this, which is like the MAC 138, and this is the Sigma F25, just if you're interested. And these are great just for that loose, quick, that E3. Have you ever heard people say that? E on one side of the face, 3 on the other side. It might be flipped in the camera, I'm not sure. But that is just for a really loose powdered bronzer. If I am using something like the Chanel bronzer, Bronze Universal, I used to use my MAC 109. This is a Sigma version, but it's the old numbers. I used to use it to buff it in, but they always left hairs in the product because the product is kind of like a creamy gel, just product. It's even hard to explain. But what I will say now, and this is a godsend, when I use this product, I used this Sigmax F82, and it's a very, very dense, and it does not shed, and it is by far my favorite brush for Chanel Bronze Universal. It's actually the only brush that I'll use on it. The next one I'm going to go to is, I had this one, it was sent to me as the Pandora's Box, and it is their bronzer. Here's what it looks like. It does have a slight sheen to it. It's very similar to it is touch of bronze is the color. It's very similar to Laguna in the concept that it just has a slight sheen to it. You might be able to see it on my finger, you might not. It's just a slight sheen to it, which I can only wear it in the wintertime. I do like the coloring on it, but I can only wear it in the wintertime because in the summertime I just look like an oil slick. The next one that I purchased was Benefit Hoola. This is what it looks like. It is a matte bronzer. That is key. That is why I went and picked this up. And I really like this product. I've got a good divot out of it. It's interesting though. It can look muddy. If you are not careful, it can look funny on you. You cannot use a lot of this. You have to be very careful with it. It has this strange undertone to it that can just make you look muddy. So you have to be very, very careful with this product. The next one was one that was sent to me a while ago, and it's by a company called Essence that's now sold at Ulta, and it is Sun Club Blondes for lighter skin. It is a matte bronzing powder. This is what it looks like. I love this thing for like on my chest and like anywhere that I'm not going to use a bronzer for specific areas, that I just want a big buffed one. And it's funny, I love that. I know everybody's gonna say that I keep mentioning this, but this is the funnest brush. It's the Sigma Body Brush BO5, and it's perfect with this. Like, it is so fun. I just tap it in there, and then I just buff it down my neck, and it's gonna be amazing for summertime. I've always had this for a really long while, but I don't, that brush doesn't fit in any of my cases, my stand-up things. It lasts forever. This is an awesome, if you are looking for an inexpensive bronzer that is matte, this is awesome. And this is the blondes version. They also have, I think it's a medium, I noticed. I don't know if they have a dark one. You'd have to check. But they're inexpensive, and it's a really cool product. I like that one a lot. The next one was also sent to me. By the way, this was sent to me by a subscriber, so not by a company. The next thing that was sent to me was from a subscriber as well, is by Bonnie Bell Glimmer Bronze in the color Golden Glitz. 7D is written on here. I thought it was going to be similar. Whoa, all right, I just made a mess of that. This is what it looks like. It has a very, very large amount of glitter in it. Sorry, getting it off myself. Very, very large amount of glitter in it, especially considering it's called Glimmer Bronze. It does not work for me. It's a slight bit too light for me, and it just makes me, because I am oily, look like an oil slick. It just does not work for everyone. So, oops, sorry about that. It's a hard product for me to work with. It can be nice as a highlighter if you are medium skin toned, but you have to be very careful and use a very, very light hand on that. The next thing that I've had for a really long while, and I use more for contouring, is this one right here. It's from MAC. It is in the pan formula. It's the Pro one, and they have a bone beige and emphasize, which is actually these two colors. They used to have them in like an MSF type of product that you could have each half on it, or if you call the Pro number, you can buy them like this. I use this side for a contour, a very nice light contour, matte, no issues with it. If you can't use something like Warmth that has too much of a orange undertone to it, then this might be a better option for you. The next one that I've had for a while is from Makeup Designery. I have two things from them. It's interesting. This one is the Endless Summer Bronzer, and this is what it looks like. And this one's pretty matte, doesn't have any shimmer to it, has a nice color tone. It's good for probably your, light to medium skin tones. I like the consistency of it. It's very nice, and it doesn't have a lot of fallout, which a lot of bronzers, for some reason, I find when you run your brush over them, they have a lot of fallout. That one does not. And then this one is actually a blush called Gingerbread, but it's a really, really nice deep color that I can use as a contour. It does have a shimmer to it, but as long as I am using it just as a contour, it isn't as noticeable because it doesn't sit on the high planes of my face. I'm not using it all over as a bronzer. So that is helpful. The next thing that I'm going to mention, maybe I gave it away. I thought I had one of these. I don't know what I did with it. These were sent to me by Coastal Scents, and it's their Sunless Body Art bronzers, and I have the color light and medium. You can tell the difference that this is light and this is medium. You can tell the difference between these. My problem with these is huge, huge, huge glitter factor, guys. Like huge. Like, can you see that? Like, it looks like an eyeshadow. Actually, that might be a really cool eyeshadow. Might be cool as an eyeshadow. It is like crazy, the amount of shimmer and glitter. And the medium to me is much more of a dark. But the light one I have used. I tended to use it sometimes just on my chest when I needed like a little bit of color, but I found throughout the day is I kind of look like a glitter bomb with it as well. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm actually going to give the medium one away. You don't have to write anything below. You just have to be a subscriber, and I will just go through and pick a subscriber out and send them a private message and see if they're interested in winning this. If they're not, I'll pick another person, so that's pretty easy. The next thing is, again, another thing that was sent to me from Coastal Scents, and I'm going to end on my absolute favorite. And it's interesting because they have names to these. These are all matte bronzers. They are all loose powder bronzers, and I think they are a really great product. I really, really like them. Which one's the one I use the most? I think Justina. This is the color Justina Matte Bronzer. I really like this one. So if you can't afford like Bare Minerals, or just don't want to chance the orange undertone, these don't have orange undertones to them. There is Jennifer, Melissa, I'll try and set them up so you can see the color differences. Justina, which is the one I tend to use the most, and then Penny. So this is what they look like. See if that'll help you a little bit in color tone from probably lightest to darkest. But I love these, and I love having the selection of different matte bronzers to use depending on what my skin tone is, what time of year it is, things like that. I really, really like these. And the last thing that is my absolute favorite bronzer. Like, I absolutely love this. I think this is the best bronzer I have used. I just think it works phenomenal. Any skin tone, coloring is great. It is matte, it smells amazing, and it is the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil Matte Bronzing Powder. This is what the container looks like, and you can tell I've used it, but I love this with a big fluffy brush, or if you have a 109 type brush and you just get in there to contour. I mean, and it smells like chocolate. If you don't like the smell of chocolate, you're not gonna like this. This is by far my favorite bronzer. Like, it is one that will always be in my collection. You could take all the others and I'd still probably be okay as long as I had this. It is that good. I love this. So, that is everything. Sorry. That is everything that I have. I hope you guys found this helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. What else was I thinking of here? Oh, that's what it was. I'm also going to give away this one, the Glimmer Bronze, Bonnie Bell. I'm going to give this one away too. I knew there was another one I was giving away. I just couldn't remember what it was. So I absolutely will not use this. So I would like to give it away to someone. Again, you just have to be a subscriber. 7 days from now, I will contact someone via a private message, let them know that they are the winner, let them know what they want, and if they are not interested, they can just let me know. So that is my overview of bronzers. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you have any questions on any of these you saw here. And thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a great day. Bye.